In wildness is the preservation of the world. So wrote Henry David Thoreau, the American writer and lover of all things wild. And there is a wildness within us, and there is wildness, there is wilderness without us. And we enter those two places with our shoes and our feet and our hearts and our souls and our minds and our dreams. And some would say that the wilderness within us and the wilderness without us are in fact the same. I'm Jay Lehman.
Hello. Welcome. Thank you for awakening this moment here. For this moment does not live without you and your attention, and without me as well. Between us, we create this moment, this spark that warms us and illuminates the gloom, perhaps. Through the strange alchemy of our tools, this moment occurs. I am coming to you from a forest. I'm coming to you live. Yes, are you live? We are live, indeed. I'm coming to you from a forest where I live. I'm remembering the chill, clear winds that come across the meadows. I'm remembering mantras spoken by the earth itself, beautiful, mysterious, wise. I'm remembering those beautiful things. And I am bringing these stories to you, stories that have happened, that are happening now, and that will happen. That is how it is with stories. They are maps, they are doors, they are ceremonies, they are rituals, the narratives around us. It was all around me. No one spoke it, but it was there. And the story was, this forest, this wilderness here, it is for you to use. That was one of the many stories I heard growing up in this place, Turtle Island, North America. Perhaps you have heard that story as well. The stories I'm telling you today are there. They're part of their reason, part of their way of moving through this universe and say, well then, perhaps we can see the world from the point of view of the dandelion, of the flowers in the meadow. Yes, indeed. And the stars far away and the deer. That's what this story has to say to us. And also I invite you to become any of the characters in this story. There are women in this story, there are men, there are animals, there are magical beings that go beyond our rational thoughts. And I invite you to claim any of those characters for yourself, for the story lives within us. We walk through it as we walk through a forest. We dwell within it, and we can look out from its characters, its moments, and its sparkly little rowdy instants in those stories. So then, shall we begin? Shall we begin? Yes, let us begin.
Take it outside to the braided network of non-motorized trails. The trails of the Richard St. Barbe Baker Afforestation Area have lots of layers of history and is an amazing place for a winter staycation. The Friends of the Saskatoon Afforestation Areas Inc. encourage being outside safely with social distancing in this 326-acre green space during COVID protocols. What we are trying to do is connect our local naturalized places with their national stories, restoration of ecosystems, or conservation. Travel the Old Bone Trail with its rich cultural history. Amid the flora and fauna, there is the evolution of our community. It's really a very diverse network, capturing what really matters, our point of view and the experience of these places. The Richard St. Barbe Baker Afforestation Area Trail Network is the ultimate form of a city nature trail celebrating a Canadian heritage experience. What options are there for hiking in Richard St. Barbe Baker Afforestation Area? On bicycle, on foot, on cross-country skis, or by snowshoes? The trails are about experiencing these different types of landscapes and different points of view. One of the great stories is the ecological succession of the land, its ethnobotany, and the creation of this unique mixed woodlands ecosystem under the award-winning Green Survival Program. An afforestation area hike provides you with a window into the importance of tree planting advocated by Richard St. Barbe Baker, founder of the International Tree Foundation. Walk immersed in the mysteries of the Pleistocene-era Ice Age megafauna and the Paleo-Indian surviving on the Corrie Plains. It's exciting visiting this peri-urban City of Saskatoon green space preserved in perpetuity for you as an urban regional park. Who was Chief Iron Horse? City builder B.T. Chappell, CN Superintendent, Saskatchewan Division, who was instrumental in the Prairie Land Exhibition success? Who was Baba Wayamiti? Organizations he founded or assisted have been responsible for planting at least 26 billion trees internationally. The trail experience highlights adventure, solitude, and family time in over 326 acres of protected land, one of the truly unique semi-wilderness afforestation areas in Saskatoon. When people think of Richard St. Barbe Baker Afforestation Area, they usually think of its history as a city park, tree nursery, and appreciate the Chapel Marsh wetlands. But the park is also blended with native aspen bluffs with a moist mixed grasslands ecosystem. The primary starting point is from the southwest off-leash recreation area parking lot. Here you will find a trailhead sign. The forest, situated in the West Swale floodplains, is mainly flat, and the winter trail network is maintained by the volunteers of the FatLanders FatTire Brigade. Years ago, the land was shaped by the Yorath Island spillway. Imagine the Paleo-Indian and Ice Age megafauna adapting to the rapid surge of floodwaters, creating an instantaneous river connecting the glacial North and South Saskatchewan waterways. Here you will get the opportunity to hike on the moraine and till and see how the unique soil of the West Swale encouraged growth of the city's park nursery, afforested in 1972 under the North American Horticultural Society's Green Survival Program. The unique understory has an abundance of moss, lichen, a variety of mushrooms, and species at-risk plants amid the flora. Look up at the canopy of the forest and see the elms, Engelmann spruce, Scots pine, balsam poplar, and trembling aspen. The rest areas are a great place to stop on the benches and record birds on the smartphone app iNaturalist or on the eBird hotspot for the area. Keep your eyes and ears open for squirrels and a variety of forest and meadow birds.
I ask you to sit with that story. I invite you to sit with that story.
Check the weather forecast. Hiking the Richard St. Barbe Baker Afforestation Area can be as unique as the forest itself. Being knowledgeable and prepared can only enhance the experience. The Friends of the Saskatoon Afforestation Areas Inc. hopes that this video description of the Richard St. Barbe Baker Afforestation Area helps you to explore and engage with this protected area and our history.
Thank you for listening to this story. And it is a story which comes to us very far back in our old relations with the wild. Ever since there was a wild and a castle, a civilized place, we live in the castle, many of us. Perhaps we live in the wild, but we are of the castle, I would say. And like I said, this stories are like landscapes, and perhaps you can walk through this landscape and find a place where it feels good for you to sit down. A place that might feel good or just grab you in some way. Perhaps there is an image. Stories speak in images. That's how they communicate. It's not the words. The words are nothing. The words are the horses on which the images ride, and the images are the true story. They are the river flowing from one end of the story to the other, a circular river perhaps. So find the place in this story that snags you, that grabs you. Maybe it's something you like. Maybe it's something you don't like, which annoys you. That's also wonderful, and that can be a way into the story. Perhaps it's a place where you fell asleep, where you zoned out and were thinking about something entirely different, because something in you did not want to hear what this story had to say. That's also possible. It's a little bit like acupuncture, if you've ever had that, and they put needles in you to do all kinds of wonderful things to make the rivers of energy flow better through your body. But they might hit one in particular that is like, oh, that's the spot. That's the spot. So I invite you to recall this story and to dwell in it for a little while, as we surely dwell in it already, perhaps. We are in its place. We are in that story. And find a detail in it that speaks to you. All of these things, they are like hills, like trees, like rocks in a landscape. And find one that you can be near and live with and be next to for a while. Live with for a while. And perhaps this story can breathe some life into us as we breathe life into it. Thank you for listening to this story. And be well and take care. And so I give this story to you. I hope it sits well in your hearts. I invite you to blow some breath into your hands and to offer it up to this story. To feed and nourish this story that has lived for a long time among us and on this earth. And may it flourish and nourish us for many years to come. Thank you for listening to this story.